Topic: The Dream. Muhammad Umar Iftikhar. Here you go, sir. Mushtaq places the burger on the plastic table for his customer. He turns swiftly to his stove and prepares more burgers. It's almost noon as throngs of customers make their way to Burger Point during lunch hours. It is a small shop in a lane where other eateries are also situated. These types of burger shops are a common sight in Karachi, and Mushtaq's Burger Point is one of them. His shop is located adjacent to the Baloch Colony flyover on Shara Faisal. Mushtaq is 16 and first started working at the Burger Point when he was 12. His father is a school bus driver who owns the Burger Point. Mushtaq's mother sews clothes for people in the neighborhood. He has a sister who is 10 years younger than him. He lives in a small two-room house in the vicinity of Baloch Colony. Every day is a challenge for him. From 11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, he prepares and sells burgers. His father purchased the Burger Point 6 years ago and managed it by himself. But when he got an opportunity to drive the school bus, he asked Mushtaq to step in. His father returns to take charge of the Burger Point at 1:30 in the afternoon. Then Mushtaq leaves for home to have his lunch and go to his school where he studies in class 9 in the afternoon shift. Arslan is Mushtaq's old friend. They have been classmates for 4 years and live in the same neighborhood. One evening, Mushtaq returned home looking depressed. Son, what's the matter? Did Asghar bully you again? Asked his mother. Asghar studied in Mushtaq's school and bullied him almost every day. Mother, will we always remain poor? Mushtaq's mother was shocked to hear his question. Why did you ask that? She inquired. Mother, Mushtaq continued. Asghar said that his father has bought a new motorcycle and he said that we are poor and we will never have money. We don't have a motorcycle and that is why he is rich. Don't pay any attention to what Asghar says. His father spent 6 months in jail for stealing. We don't have a motorcycle but we have each other and your father earns an honest income. Now don't you worry about Asghar. You change your clothes, I'll give you something to eat. Mushtaq and his family lived in a rented home. The expenses were way more than the monthly income. Living hand to mouth had made Mushtaq want to do something big in life, something that would put his family out of this predicament. His father had plans to purchase another shop, but Mushtaq opposed his decision. One night the two had a quarrel on the same topic. Why don't you want me to open another Burger Point? Asked his father. Because it won't do us any good. We will only double our earnings and not multiply them. And after all, father, I am not going to sell burgers all my life. What? Mushtaq's father was perplexed. Why do you say that? It's our family business. Father, Mushtaq tried to explain. I want to do something big. I know I can do something that people can only dream of. His father stared at him with rage and slapped him. Stop with your nonsense. I will do something big? Huh? Mushtaq's father said in utter frustration and left the room. Mushtaq was weeping. His mother hugged him, wiped his tears and said, Son, you will always do what you dream of. Now you go to sleep. The next afternoon Mushtaq didn't feel like studying, so he went to his uncle's home. In response to the knock on the scruffy wooden door came an old voice. Who is it? Karamdin Chacha, it's me, Mushtaq, he said politely. Oh, ho ho. Karamdin Chacha opened the door with excitement and welcomed Mushtaq warmly. How are you, my child? I'm good, Chacha. How are you? I'm as usual, son, old and rusty. Karamdin Chacha said as he sat on his chair. Chacha lived alone. He didn't have children and his wife passed away 2 years ago. Chacha made kites and sold them to neighborhood children. His room was filled with kites. Mushtaq kept staring at them and he was lost in a world of his own. There was a big hole in the wall that gave way to a view of the sky. Mushtaq got a crazy idea while sitting in a room filled with kites. He asked, Karandin Chacha, do you think if someone has a big dream he can accomplish it? Chacha replied, a dream is a dream. It will always remain a dream until you take action in making it a reality. Chacha paused and asked, do you have a dream? Yes, I have a dream. Chacha looked at him and said, my child, no matter how big your dream is, no matter how insignificant it looks to others, your dream is your responsibility. Your effort, your faith in God, and self belief will give you your moment of glory. The next day, Mushtaq kept pondering about his big idea and made a lot of blunders while working at Burger Point. One customer ordered an egg burger and he made him a beef burger. One customer asked not to put ketchup in and he added ketchup. A few annoyed customers complained to his father. What has happened to you lately? Mushtaq's father scolded him. You seem to have lost interest in your work. But Mushtaq stood silently. A few days later at school, Mushtaq was attending his Urdu class. He was sitting in the last row instead of the front row. That was his usual place. The teacher was reading Allama Iqbal's poetry. Mushtaq was listening while making a sketch on a piece of paper. Hearing the words of the poem renewed Mushtaq's energy from within. His pencil began moving with vigor. Just then, Asghar leaped from behind and snatched the paper. Give it back, Mushtaq demanded. The teacher was busy writing on the blackboard so he couldn't see the commotion at the back. Asghar started ridiculing the sketch that was of a long horizontal rectangle with lots of horizontal and vertical lines inside. The teacher turned around and shouted, What the hell is going on back there? The teacher saw Asghar holding the sketch in his hand. What's this? Nothing, sir, Asghar replied. Show it to me, the teacher shouted. What is this? Sir, this is a building. Mushtaq was panicky. What building? The teacher asked. You are drawing pathetic buildings and not paying attention in the class. Mushtaq was so nervous he said, Sir, this is my hotel. Laughter echoed in the classroom as all eyes stared down at Mushtaq. Quiet, shouted the teacher as he crumpled the paper and threw it in the dustbin. Dream what you can do, not what is impossible, the teacher said and walked towards the blackboard. Mushtaq used his newfound energy and said, You are a hypocrite. What? The teacher glared at Mushtaq. What did you just say? Yes, sir, Mushtaq continued. You are teaching Iqbal's poetry about going beyond the ordinary, and then you ask me not to go after the impossible? Mushtaq said with teary eyes, trembling feet, and a heavy voice. How dare you question me like that? The teacher slapped Mushtaq. The crackling sound ricocheted against the walls. I have seen people like you, the teacher said. You are making a hotel in your dreams. Understand your own worth, young man, and you dare to question my teaching methods? You are a student and I am your teacher. You are small and I am big. You are wrong and I am right. Now sit down and pay attention to what I say. Later that day, Mushtaq didn't feel like going home, so he thought of meeting Karamdin Chacha. As Mushtaq came closer to Chacha's home, he froze. Asghar just emerged from a narrow lane and was standing in front of him. Mushtaq thought he would bully him, but was surprised to see Asghar smiling. I thought you were going back home. I wanted to talk to you, so I followed you here, said Asghar. He moved towards Mushtaq and took out from his pocket the same crumpled piece of paper that was the reason for Mushtaq's humiliation in the class. I took it out for you, Asghar said as he handed over the paper to Mushtaq. But why? Mushtaq was curious. You want to know why? Asghar continued. One day, I was having tea at the corner dhaba tea shop, and the television at the dhaba was showing one of those channels that describe how men in other countries construct great buildings. In Dubai, they have built a very tall hotel. He paused and said, yours will be bigger, higher than this. Mushtaq was speechless. Asghar placed his hand over Mushtaq's shoulder and said, you remember when I insulted you for being poor? I was wrong. We all are poor because we do not have something big to do in life. But Mushtaq, you are richer than anyone who has ever been born in Baloch colony. You are richer than any person born in a shabby home with no clean drinking water and no fresh food to eat. You know why? Because you have a dream. And today, when you confronted the teacher, I felt happy that you stood up for what you believe in. I am ashamed that I have been hurting you for such a long time. Please forgive me, Mushtaq. Tears ran down Asghar's eyes. 8 years have passed. Mushtaq completed his intermediate, cleared his bachelor's, and was at the edge of earning his master's degree. All thanks to the small internet cafe business he started after his father sold Burger Point and gave him the money. For Mushtaq, his dream is a tough challenge, but he is living his dream every day. His pencil sketch is still pasted on the wall. He is motivated to see it every morning. His mother was the first to endorse his dream by placing her thumbprint on it. He doesn't know when he will build his hotel, but his parents and Karamdin Chacha believe in him. Mushtaq knows in his heart that it will take a long time, but a day will come when he will hang the real photograph of his hotel in his room.